Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing a versus video. This one we're going to be doing a versus matchup of TV show Rick Grimes versus comic book Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead. This one we're going to be doing our very first ever versus matches video. This one we're going to be doing TV show Rick versus comic Rick from The Walking Dead. So, votes are going to start releasing, of course, after this video releases. I've got 5 now that you guys have suggested for versus matchups, so we will be doing a vote for that later today. This is a very fun new series, very excited to get into it, but of course you guys know, every series I like to get started with Rick Grimes because he is my favorite character of entertainment, obviously, as I've said many, many times before, and it gets the ball rolling, of course, for, further suggestions. So, this video is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go through a lot of different abilities that Rick has, both in the TV show and in the comics, and ultimately decide which one we think would beat the other in a fight. So, this one's going to be a lot of fun. So, starting off with stealth. Okay, so stealth. Who do we think would win in stealth? Now, TV show Rick, in terms of stealth, is he very stealthy? Well, he's had a lot of slip-ups, I'm not going to lie, in terms of stealth, but he could also sneak up on a lot of people. I mean, he snuck up on Negan many times. There's moments he gets caught, definitely. There's definitely moments he gets caught, but there's also moments like in 501 where he literally took down that entire group of, Terminus people by using, stealth, right? So that definitely is an advantage he has there. Not to mention, he took out an entire outpost of saviors using stealth, stabbing them in their sleep and stuff like that. They didn't really wake up until like the latter half when somebody else screwed up, and that wasn't Rick's fault. So I would say that, stealth-wise, I think Rick's pretty good. If you can take out an entire outpost of people almost near the end before, crap starts going off, yeah, you're pretty damn good. And that's why I'm going to give stealth to TV Rick, because I can't say comic book Rick did anything like that, He just, kind of lunges at you and, like, that's it, He doesn't really go through, like, an outpost quietly, stealthy, takes people out, stuff like that, And, again, the alarm didn't, in 612 didn't go off because of him. He was doing good. So I'm definitely going to put stealth to TV Rick, I would say. Now, travel speed. Travel speed is definitely an interesting one. Comic book Rick is very, very speedy, very fast, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as he gets older, I notice that he kind of slows down a bit in the comic books. Versus TV show Rick, he's, way past the New Beginning storyline, and he's still kicking ass, you know what I mean? Like, he's still been out there with the CRM, he's still killing walkers all the time, he's still doing all this stuff. Like, I don't know. To me, like, maybe in the early days there'd be a bit more competition, but Rick in the TV show has been hardened, like, even more as the time goes on, and he continues to be more, fast and, that type of stuff. So I would say, especially including the New Beginning in the storyline with his broken leg and stuff like that in the comic books and kind of him slowing down over time. Meanwhile, TV Rick in that timeline in the show is like thriving still. He's still very tough. He still can fight. He managed to escape CRM. So if that doesn't tell you travel speed, I don't know what does. So there you go. So yes, I would say travel speed is also TV Rick. Now, strength. Okay. Now, I'm going to be honest about this one. Strength-wise, there's a bit of a competition here. Because TV Rick, unfortunately, loses a lot of fights. And I know a lot of people talk about that a lot. Comic book Rick, he does lose fights, but he wins them more than he loses, I'd say. But here's the thing, right? Even though it's a bit of a tie, right? I think what gives TV Rick a bit more of an advantage on this one as well, even versus the comics, is that Negan was able to break his leg in the comics. In the TV show, Negan was not able to do that. Rick got him dead to rights, you know what I mean? And he beat the absolute crap out of Tyrese. In the comics, Tyrese beat the crap out of him, and that was kind of just it, Not to mention he fought Shane in the TV show, and evenly did pretty good, I mean, he didn't do great, but he got a few hits in and stuff. So I am going to say, again, TV Rick in terms of strength, He doesn't win every fight he's in, but the comics at the same time doesn't either, And I feel like TV show Rick has had a few more experiences when it comes to strength. So I'm going to give this one to him as well, too. Now, the next one is endurance. Now, in terms of endurance, oh man, I mean, in terms of like, if Rick was like captured and like keeping information from people and stuff like that, again, I'm going to make this one pretty easy. I'm going to go TV show because he's been captured by the CRM for a long time and they haven't done anything, and I doubt that Rick's been able to give any information away. Rick Grimes in the TV show is very good at keeping secrets. Meanwhile, in the comics, I mean, the second he heard Dwight wanted to take over from Pamela, who the frig went over there and friggin' snitched, Like, to me, it's not even a competition, I would say. Now, next one is durability. Now, let's be honest here. I think this is our first win for our boy in the comics. He got his hand chopped off. I mean, come on, you gotta give it to him. Here's the thing with this one is that it's like, durability, yes, TV Rick got impaled, but he survived, and it's not like he lost a limb or anything. Comic book Rick lost his hand. Which obviously there are rumors and speculation that maybe in Ones Who Live he'll lose his hand there, but we don't know that yet. So at least for now, I'm gonna say comic Rick, durability wise, it doesn't get bigger than losing your hand. You know what I mean? Okay, it does, but TV show Rick, I don't think has been through something that bad. So durability, I'm gonna give it to comic book Rick for sure. Now, the next one is combat. Now, honestly, just because of how impressive it is that Rick is able to sustain a fight around the same level at times that the TV show Rick does, I am still going to give this one to comic book Rick because he has one hand, and there are several fights that he's won. So, I mean, it is pretty impressive. I got to give this one to comic Rick because in terms of combat, it's like, yeah, sure, TV Rick might have more here, but at the same time, comic book Rick wins a lot of fights and he has one hand. I mean, like, combat-wise, like, that right there is enough for me to say, okay, that's really impressive. Now, the next one is speed. Now, again, speed. I mean, at least in my opinion, there's a lot of really big moments with speed where he's pretty tied in both, I'd say. But here's the thing. In the TV show, he literally ran after Bob Lamson, right? Which he had his hands tied up. He had all that stuff going on. So obviously that gave him a little bit of an unfair advantage. But I also would say the TV Rick, like, if you're on his bad side and he's running after you, he's chasing you down, there's a very big likelihood that you're not making it out, Comic book Rick, there is ways to get him away from you, He is a bit more vicious at times, but in terms of just speed, in terms of just that idea, I would say TV Rick still. Experience. Well, again, you guys might disagree, but I'm going to go TV Rick again, and it's mostly because of where he is now. Comic book Rick has not been captured by a settlement for like almost 10 years and still is able to fight back, still able to be that savage when he needs to be, and his endurance, his overall, objective to get back to his family, he will do damn near about anything in the TV show. It's insane. And honestly, I've never seen him really like not had like that experience. He literally bit a guy's neck out in the TV show. Yes, he did in the comics, but let's be honest. Everything that he's done in the show, killing the guy in the bathroom, doing all this stuff, killing his best friend Shane, that I consider to be part of his experience as well, because in the comics, it was Carl that did that. So Shane, being killed by Rick, definitely is an advantage in terms of experience, in terms of what he knows, not to mention TV show Rick. Come on, when we talk about experience, do you guys not remember the scene where Dave and Tony in the bar where he shoots, like, come on, comic Rick did not ever have a moment like that. Come on. And finally, the last category is skills. Well, we're wiping it clean with this one. I'm going with the show as well, too. And yes, the comic book Rick, in my opinion, just got murdered. I love Rick in the comics. I love Rick. I think he's amazing. But again, skills, it's not even comparable, if you ask me. Skill-wise, he's had way more experience and way more stuff in the show. There's a lot more, stuff he just knows overall in the show. The way he just goes about any scenario. Not to mention, it takes skill to be locked up by a group of people for 10 so years almost, Comic book Rick would not have those skills. He's just been chilling and, he won a few wars and then kind of just managed to chill out and stuff like that. So I'm not even giving it that. Because here's the thing. TV show Rick, I would actually say, if let's say comic book Sebastian tried to shoot TV Rick, I do genuinely think that TV Rick would actually like have a bit of a standoff. You know, he wouldn't just go down just like that. You know, comic book Rick in the end really disappointed me with some of the stuff that he was able to do. Meanwhile, the TV show Rick, he continues to thrive and continues to survive. And that's why he won this. So there it goes, guys. Those are the versus matchups for Comic Rick versus TV Rick. Obviously, Comic Book Rick had like 2, I think. But overall, TV Rick definitely wins this one. I just think he has more going on for him, especially being captured by CRM. And after all these years and after he still is the way he is now, I just feel like it gives him a bit more of an advantage than where Comic Rick is at the time of, you know, in the timeline of the comics. So that's at least in my opinion, but let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Of course, thank you all for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you guys like the new series. We're going to be doing this every week, so stay tuned. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button to not miss any other videos of The Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.